Hi, I'm the App Man, and here is the app of the week. The app of the week for this week is one called Flashboard. And Flashboard allows you to do things like flashcards. So we open up the app, it comes up to this screen. So if you look in the top left-hand corner, you see the little gear looking thing, that little icon, that is for your settings. So your Flashboard settings, you have deck order, so you can do it by date created, last accessed, or alphabetical. You can do the background, so you can set the background to either a light background, a gray, which is the default, a dark background, or a warm background. Card display, so you can have the font that you want to use, which would be one of these four: Helvetica, Typewriter, Courier, Chalk Duster. The font size, so you can choose from any of those sizes. Text alignment, center, left, or right. On the back of the card, you can have adjust the font size and the text alignment as well. Now you can attach this to a Google Docs account so that you can actually take documents you have in Google Docs and import them as flashcards. And the doc type that they use is the spreadsheet type. Then there's also a help, so you can check out the help on how to create a new deck, how to edit a deck, how to delete a deck, how to rename a deck, how to reorder deck cards, what are the stars, using Google Docs, using Quizlet, playing the memory match, and so on. At Quizlet.com, on using the Quizlet, is a great site that lets you create and share flashcards online. So it's just a place for you to share. Then you can contact the developer. It just gives an email, pulls up an email so you can email them. And then it tells you about the app, what version it is, and email them at any time if you have any problems. So those are the settings. And over in the top right, where you have the edit, this is where you can edit the decks that you have. So this is where you can add a deck, or you can tap on one of the two decks that are there to edit what's there. So if you click on the Welcome to Flashboard deck, it pulls up this window which allows you to change the title of the deck. It shows you how many cards there are. You can go in and edit each card. You can add more cards or delete cards here. And then it tells you the source. This is on the device, so this is on the iPad. So if you want to delete the whole deck, you can click on the red bar down there to delete deck. So we're not going to, we're just going to click on done. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a deck. So click on add a deck. Now we can import it either from Google Docs or Quizlet.com or create a new one. We're just going to create a new one. And we're going to call this images. There are no cards at this time, so let's go add some cards. So select cards, and then we'll add a card. We're going to do an image. Now it wants to access my photos, so I'm going to say OK. We'll go to our camera roll, and we'll pick up an image. So there's our image. Now, where it says text here in this box, we can type in some text. I'm just saying this is an image. Okay, so this is on the front of the card. Now on the back of the card we could put something else. We could put another image if we'd like. and we can type in some text there. It's done. So there's our card. Then if we want to add another card, we'll go ahead and add another one. Select something. Let's see. We'll do my little app guys. This is me. Do another image. See if I got another one of me here. Oh, that man. So there's the front. And then there's the back. So we'll click done. Then we'll click edit cards because we're done editing those. Finished editing those. So now we go click on done, done, and now you can see that here in the top left hand, the left hand side, that's our images that we just created. So I'm going to click on done here in the top right because we're done editing. And now if I select this one here that says images, it'll show me the cards. So there's the front of the cards. If you look down at the bottom, you can see it says front, back. So I can select the back so I can see the back of them. Now this is the little image. I could bring up the card by selecting the card, and it shows you this is an image. Now if I select this card again while it's up here, it'll show me the back of the card. This is another image. So click out of that and do the same thing on the next one. This is me, and this is the app man. Now, the advantage to this system here is, let's say you wanted to create a test and you wanted the question to be on the front. So here's the question, and they can guess what the answer is, and then to see the answer, you can reveal it by being the back of the card. Okay, and then over here in the top left, that takes you back to the decks. Over on the top right, you have a memory match game, flip cards and match fronts with backs. So if you wanted to do, again, if you want to do this as a game, there's the four images. So if you select one, all right, this is another image, okay? So that's the back of our first card, if I remember right. So now we have to find, this one is the back of the second card. Those didn't go together. This is the front of the first card. So this one goes with this one. And you can see it took them away, so that must be correct. So this is our front card. And this is our second card. So now those are correct. All pairs found. Game only took me 40 seconds to figure that out. So again, a good way for creating a game that would allow students, or creating something for students if you have all your cards. As an instructor, if you have your questions, let's say you want to review for an exam, you can create all your questions in these cards, have the answers there, upload this to Quizlet or to Google Docs, share that with your students, and then your students can go in, grab those and review them, and then they can even do the memory match game so that they can match with the right answer with the right question. And again, since they use images, you can, for instance, if it was let's say you were teaching botany and you wanted them to learn how to do to match the different plants or different parts of a plant. So you can have an image of a petal from a flower, and then you can have a label saying what it was, and then they'd have to match it with whatever. or whatever the parts of the plants would be, they'd match it with whichever one it is. Or if you're talking about slides for a science class, here's an image under a microscope of a cell, and then what kind of cell is it? Or what are the parts of the cell? Label them out. You can have an arrow pointing to whichever. Whatever the endless cases could be. Okay. And so this is basically your Flashboards app. Okay, and there are probably several different apps like this. In fact, if you look on mine, I've got one here in the middle called Flashcards, which I'll do at another time probably, but I'm sure it works fairly similar. So that is your Flashboard, the app of the week.